Homes not cages.
Homes not cages.
Treatment not cages.
Treatment not cages.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
We're here to tell the LA County Board of Supervisors that we don't want them to build the new jails that they have planned that are worth $3.5 billion. They want to build a women's jail in Lancaster, over 50 miles away from City Central, and they want to build a new men's jail in downtown LA. And so we're really here to push back and say no, enough is enough. We want them to invest that money into much needed community-based and community-led programs.
We're here at the Ronald Reagan Medical Center at UCLA in Sheila Kuhl's district to speak out against LA County's $3.5 billion jail expansion plan that includes building a women's jail on toxic soil that contains a fungus that creates an incurable disease called valley fever that attacks people's bodies and kills them.
I know several guys that died from valley fever, and some was fortunate and survived it. But I just think, though, as leader of LA County, that the decision shouldn't be made to build a jail on toxic soil where you know that people are going to be getting sick at it. You can't get well in a cell, but the pretense that these jails are being built up under mental health friendly. I mean, again, a lot of mental illness is developed by sitting in a 6x9 cell. I know so many guys that was incarcerated, they never had mental issues. But then after a while in being in these cells, they develop mental issues.
And as a queer woman, I implore Sheila Kuhel to stand up for our most marginalized members of the queer community, the LGBTQ community, trans women, poor brown and black women that have little resources, that make up 35% of the women inside our jails and 4.5% of our population.
Black, brown, trans women face multiple issues in prison from other prisoners, but also from the guards. They face harassment, isolation. It's not a safe place in jail. It's really a lot of reasons why trans people are actually in the jails is because of the lack of resources, the targeting that goes on. Trans people, gender nonconforming folks do not need to be in cages. We need resources. Our community is super marginalized, and we definitely just need resources.
That money could be used for other alternatives, to prevent people from even going to jail. A lot of people go to jail because they don't have money. A lot of people go to jail because they're trying to feed their kids. They want more jobs, they want affordable housing.
In a state that claims to be progressive, in a county that claims to be progressive, in a city that claims to be progressive, the impacts of an expanded jail system in a county that already leads the planet in jailing is a massive step backwards. The impacts economically, the impacts socially, the impacts psychologically, and the impacts in the public health context on Los Angeles would be devastating.
The Sheriff Civilian Oversight Commission, we recently presented to them around the toxicity of the soil, and they were up in arms. They were astonished that the Board of Supervisors would approve such a plan that is actually set to build on toxic soil. So right now, they're coming up with their own report, and we hope and we anticipate that they will come to the same conclusions that community already came to years ago. That this soil is toxic, that it is a public health crisis, and that it will impact the most marginalized in our communities.
What's apparent to all of us is that it's not a complicated solution. If we decarcerate Los Angeles, public safety will benefit, environmental issues will benefit, and it will create a massive set of dynamic economic opportunities to reinvest what they were planning to do with that $3.5 billion and put it into things that Los Angeles needs.
The community is rallying around decarceration. We are seeing the impact of bringing our communities home through Prop 47, through Prop 57, and seeing how bringing our communities home actually makes us safer, actually makes us healthier. So there is public opinion that supports our position. So it's time for her to re-examine the plan, re-examine her vote, and take a stand against this jail plan.
And we simply ask that the Board of Supervisors have a sliver of political imagination and work with the community to do something positive and restorative here in Los Angeles.